Here we go. Hi, this is Mike Ginevro, and just so you know, it's first day of winter in 2012. It's cold, it's wet, it's raining outside, but so for once I'll have a reason to speak quickly and not be too wordy in my introduction. But this is an essay, actually a letter that I wrote to my son Justin in May 2011. And the background here is that Justin was president of the Black Student Union at Menlo Atherton High School, and he was really the driving force behind a lot of the activities that occurred in the BSU that year. And everybody is a part of what happens, but Justin was an extremely active leader. And on May 5th, 2011, the Black Student Union at MA had its parent dinner. And so I went, and Joyce, my wife, went, and our kids, and my mom and dad. And so we actually had 4 generations of my family there present at the dinner. And the day after the dinner, this was a letter, an email, that I wrote to Justin and copied the other kids on, and encouraged him to share with the students in the Black Student Union. To be honest, this is really more about an African-American writer named Lorraine Hansberry, who was very influential, I think, in the African-American community in the 1950s and 1960s, and about some of the things that she wrote. And most of the essay, in fact, are 2 extended quotations from Lorraine. So here we go. So this is the opening of the email to Justin. Justin, I am so proud of you and of your fellow students in the BSU. What a wonderful dinner last night. I have attached a PDF from the original email with some thoughts on the dinner and photos from the celebration. Please feel free to share this at school. Love, Dad. And then to my other kids, P.S. Brianna, Whitney, and LaPria, I'm so proud of you as well. This is a photo that I took at the dinner with my mom and dad and with Justin. Special. To the Black Student Union at Menlo Atherton High School regarding the BSU parent dinner, and I wrote this on May 6th, 2011. Words cannot adequately express the gratitude that I feel to you for the work you did in organizing and presenting the BSU parent dinner last night. I hope that the photos enclosed with this letter become a small part of our collective memory of that experience. As I reflect on the dinner this morning, I feel drawn back to my own experience as a teacher aide, or community teacher, at Costanyo School in East Palo Alto in the early 1970s. In particular, the title of Nina Simone's song, To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, resonates continually in my mind. Nina's song is a powerful act of faith and hope for the future of her people, and for all people that you now represent in our troubled world. I used Nina's song in some of my tutoring work at Costanyo. However, more importantly for me, her song led me to the work of Lorraine Hansberry, the African-American playwright of the 1950s and early 1960s, best known for the play A Raisin in the Sun. Became a movie that Sidney Poitier was in. Lorraine became a special presence in my life from my first exposure to her work in the early 1970s to this day as I write these words. Lorraine created the expression to be young, gifted, and black, and her friend Nina used Lorraine's words as the foundation of her song. Lorraine's words come from a speech that she gave to young black writers. Here are Lorraine's words. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow writers, I've had the opportunity to read 3 of the winning compositions in this United Negro College Fund contest, and it is clear I am addressing fellow writers indeed. Apart from anything else, I wanted to be able to come here and speak with you on this occasion because you are young, gifted, and black. I, for one, can think of no more dynamic combination that a person might be. The Negro rider today stands surrounded by the whirling elements of this world. He stands neither on the fringe nor utterly involved, the prime observer, waiting, poised for inclusion. Oh, the things we have learned in this unkind house that we have to tell the world about. Despair? Did someone say despair? Despair was a question in the world. Well, then listen to the sons of those who have known little else. If you wish to know the resiliency of this thing, you would so quickly resign to mythhood, this thing called the human spirit. Life, ask those who have tasted of it in pieces, rationed out by enemies. Love, ask the troubadours who come from those who have loved, when all reason pointed to the uselessness and foolhardiness of love. Perhaps we shall be the teachers when it is done. Out of the depths of pain, we have thought to be our sole heritage in this world. Oh, what we know about love. And that is why I say to you that though it be thrilling and marvelous thing to be merely young and gifted in such times, it is doubly so, doubly dynamic to be young, gifted, and black. Look at the world that awaits you. Write, if you will, but write about the world as it is, and as you think it ought to be and must be, if there is to be a world. The beginning of writing and talking, but write to a point. Work hard at it, care about it. Write about our people, tell their story. You have something glorious to draw on, begging for attention. Don't pass it up, use it. Good luck to you. This nation needs your gifts. Perfect them. Again, from Lorraine Hansberry. As I studied Lorraine's work and life, I learned so much more about this extraordinary woman, this extraordinary person. I was drawn to the inherent drama of her life. She married a white man at a time when the overwhelming power of society opposed such unions. A few years later in my own life, I met and married Joyce, my wife of almost 33 years, actually now 34 years. Hansberry died of pancreatic cancer in 1965 at the age of 34. Her death at such an early age struck me in the midst of my own youth. A few years later, one of my closest friends, Mike, died of cancer at 38, and left behind a wife and 2 young children. And 10 years ago, Joyce battled with cancer. Joyce survived, but the experience of cancer shook and transformed me and my family at our individual and collective core. As I reflect on the life of Lorraine Hansberry now, almost 40 years ago, the most powerful message that emerges is a faith in the possibilities for humanity, a faith that you embody in your words and your actions, you students from the BSU. Lorraine had so many reasons to despair, so many reasons to surrender to the void, and yet at her deepest level, she found the courage and hope to write these words. Why, he said to me, are you so sure the human race should go on? You do not believe in a prearrangement of life on this planet. You know perfectly well that the reason for survival does not exist in nature. I answered him in the only way that I could, that man is unique in the universe, the only creature who has in fact the power to transform the universe. Therefore, it did not seem unthinkable to me that man might just do what the apes will never do, impose the reason for life on life. That is what I said to my friend. I wish to live because life has within it that which is good, that which is beautiful, and that which is love. Therefore, since I have known all of these things, I have found them to be reason enough, and I wish to live. Moreover, because this is so, I wish others to live, for generations and generations and generations and generations. I have, like all of you on 1,000 occasions, seen indescribable displays of man's very real inhumanity to man, and I have come to maturity, as we all must, knowing that greed and malice, indifference, human misery, and perhaps above all else ignorance, the prime, ancient, and persistent enemy of man, abound in this world. I say all of this
to say that one cannot live with sighted eyes and feeling heart and not know and react to the miseries which afflict this world. I have given you this account so that you know that what I write is not based on the assumption of idyllic possibilities or innocent assessments of the true nature of life, but rather my personal view that posing one against the other, I think that the human race does command its own destiny, and that destiny can eventually embrace the stars. Lorraine Hansberry. And so the young woman that Lorraine Hansberry was spoke to the young man that I was and to the aging man that I am becoming. And she speaks to you, the youth of today. Live with sighted eyes and a feeling height. Do not shrink from the troubles and inhumanity of this world, but find the strength and courage to affirm life, to embrace our shared humanity, and to reach for the heavens. Thank you for the privilege of attending the BSU Parent Dinner. Regards, Mike Ginevra, better known as Justin's father. I'm sorry I didn't get to take some photos of the guest speaker during the dinner. I was busy being a grandfather with Joseph and Joshua, with the generation that will follow you, Justin. Bye-bye. I'm proud of you.